Again to this training workshop series on Eclipse Arrowhead framework. In video 8, we will focus on configuring and using ActiveMQ broker system for messaging queuing in Arrowhead framework and systems. The installation guide and configurations are available on the GitHub repository for Eclipse Arrowhead framework. So let's go there and see how to configure and install ActiveMQ broker system. An Arrowhead Gatekeeper and Gateway core systems are responsible for are two optional core systems that allow consumers in the local cloud to use provider from other local clouds. Because local clouds often can't access from the outside, the Gatekeeper and Gateway systems are use a third-party software called ActiveMQ as a relay to make connections between the clouds. Please note that Arrowhead Gatekeeper and Gateway core systems work only in secure mode because it's also possible to make them work in the insecure mode, but that is not good for security perspective. And also make sure that ActiveMQ server has to be accessible for every participants in the cloud. So let's go through the installation process for the ActiveMQ server. Arrowhead Gatekeeper and Gateway can use any messaging service that implements Java message service JMS specification, but in our default implementation for the Arrowhead local cloud, we use ActiveMQ Classic. So you can download the ActiveMQ Classic from the link provided over here for Windows or Unix or even Mac OS. The release version of the ActiveMQ Classic is just an archive file which you can extract. And please note that the ActiveMQ server also needs Java 7 Plus enabled to operate. But since Arrowhead used Java 11, so that should not be a problem at all. So before let's go through the installation process on Ubuntu for ActiveMQ server. So this is a tutorial to do that. So on the Ubuntu, you first of all you need to do the sudo apt update and then install the JRE and then see the Java version, which needs to be 7 at least, and then we can start the process for installing the ActiveMQ broker system. So here we see that these are the commands to run for running the installer for ActiveMQ broker, and we need to change the ownership of the ActiveMQ directory to get the full control on it, and then we need to add some this modify this line of code. Now we save it, and then we can start and run the ActiveMQ server, and then here this is the command for seeing the status of the ActiveMQ server. So this is something like this we will get as an output, and now we should be able to access the ActiveMQ server at 8161 port by default. Username and password for the first time is admin, which you can this is the default username and password which you can set up later on. And if you go to that link, you will see a web page like this. So this is an overview for installing and running an ActiveMQ server. And the next step is to how to configure it for the Arrowhead framework. So before starting the ActiveMQ server, we need to modify the configuration file in the activemq.xml. The details are given over here, and we need to follow these steps exactly this way for the secure and also for the insecure mode. But as I said, that it's always preferable to use it only in the secure mode, and for that we need to generate the certificates for the ActiveMQ server as well. So in SSL mode, ActiveMQ needs a self certificate, and we can create the service certificate from the master and the cloud certificate. So this certificate is basically for the relay system, which is we can call it a relay one or two or three, whatever, how many ActiveMQ servers, because we can have multiple ActiveMQ running at the same time. So we can generate multiple certificates as well. So after we have the necessary certificates and the trusted certificates, we can go to the installation folder, and from there we remove these files, and copy the relay certificates into this folder, and back to the activemq.xml, and there we give all the relevant information like this. And then we need to also modify the uh, configuration file according to these parameters. This is the way to run the ActiveMQ server in secure mode. But if you are running for testing purpose, I would always recommend to run initially in insecure mode, and see if everything works, and then go with the secure mode. Because in insecure mode, you don't have to do all these steps. Only we need to do is these steps, and everything will start to work. So that's it with the installing and configuring the ActiveMQ server for the Arrowhead local cloud. In the next videos, we see that how to set up the rules for ActiveMQ server, and gatekeeper and gateway to use the ActiveMQ server as relays, and how two different local clouds can interact with each other. Thank you very much.